Welcome, we're Russell and Amanda. Usually we're travelling around New Zealand in our classic Heimer campervan. We've taken the plunge and retired early and now exploring Scotland in a hired campervan. Join us this episode as we bid farewell to Inverary and embark on the thrilling journey up through Scotland's breathtaking west coast. We'll be stopping at stunning Isle of Skye and discovering hidden gems along the way. If you've been keeping up with our adventure, you will know that we started our journey in England, heading down to the sunny south of England, explored the stunning coastline of Wales, and then crossed over to Ireland to experience 30 days of blue skies with incredible views along the wild Atlantic Way. Last episode we left you in Inverary, and now we're heading up to check out the Kilchurn Castle. To catch up on our previous episodes, click the link at the end of this video, which will take you to our Kiwis Lost in UK playlist.
It's train.
And here we are, park up for the night. Doesn't look that flash, but these car parks work out really good low cost when we're already paying for the camper van. We take advantage of these spots to stop, and also very handy to the castle, so we'll go over and have a look before the night sets in.
Perched on the edge of Lake Arway in the Scottish Highlands, Kilchurn Castle is one of Scotland's most iconic ruins. Built in the mid-1400s by the powerful Campbell clan, it once stood as a stronghold and family home. Through centuries of battles, storms and changing times, the castle slowly fell into ruin. Today its reflection in the waters of the loch, surrounded by the rugged mountains, makes Kilchurn Castle a hauntingly beautiful symbol of Scotland's rich and dramatic past. Here we are, we've stayed another night at one of our favourite places, a car park. It's managed by a private family, and the lady came round last night and grabbed £10 for us to stay the night. And when she said, "Where are you from?" we said, "New Zealand." She said, "So am I." And it works out that she was from Tauranga.
And we've also got a little food wagon, which I see is open this morning. Looks like hot dogs and coffees and things like that, but we're going to head into Oban now, which is probably only about an hour away, I guess. We'd only just travelled down the loch about 1 kilometre when we went past this absolutely stunning stone building, which we had to stop at and find out more.
St Conan's Kirk stands on the peaceful shores of Loch Arway in Argyll and Bute, Scotland, one of the most picturesque spots on the Highlands. It was begun in the late 1800s by Walter Douglas Campbell, a member of a wealthy Scottish family, who designed it himself. He chose a location beside the loch for both practical and personal reasons. His mother found it difficult to travel long distances to church each Sunday, so he decided to build a place of worship closer to their home at Innisquehan, an island on the loch. The site also offered breathtaking views and a deep sense of peace, built from local stone and blending Norman, Gothic and Celtic styles. Today it's considered one of the most beautiful and unusual churches in Scotland, a lasting tribute to faith, family and the stunning natural setting of Loch Arway. This is the Bruce Chapel, remembering Robert the Bruce, and they're saying the figure may be seen a fragment of bone from King Robert the Bruce's tomb in Dunfermline Abbey. There it is over here, I'm lying down.
Well, that was one of the most stunning churches I've ever stopped at. Just everywhere you looked was made with such care in the history. You know, all the old candle chandeliers still up on the roof. They had the crypts there, everything was going for it. And not only that, but built on the edge of a loch looking out. The gardens, you know, that was terrific.
And what a surprise it was, just as Russell says, right on the edge of the loch. It wasn't a ruin, but because they were using it, and it was far from that, but it's a massive project probably just to keep it even going.
It's time to get back on the road again and head up to Oban. We're just on a bridge over the actual water, over the loch. So that's the Conan Bridge. We're just going to divert down here to Oban. There's a bit of water flow going through there too. Cool. Man. There you go. We've got our camper into a car park. Eventually, just across the road, we tried out this one over here, and it was full. It's got a 3-metre barrier, so they must be just trying to keep buses out of there or something, I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to go for a walk along the foreshore. And I got some supermarket bags here, we might just go and get some food as well. And of course, a coffee. These are the days that are always fun, because you never really know what's around the corner in the way of shops and places to see. Wee tourist boat out there on the harbour that's come in with shuttling people backwards and forwards. Pretty nice wee spot though. And there is one of the ferries running out to the Isle of Mull, I believe. There's your wee boat tour. The Isle of Mull's is further out there. You're going to go around this island in front of us.
Drive the same roads every day. We both get there our own way. Thistle and an apple tree. How different two souls can be. But we both grow from the same sorrow. If we both know we'll be together tomorrow, I can be like a tree in the wind. Same old roots, but I can bend, turning to understand and sway.
So that was Oban. Haven't really done much, as Amanda said you could really stay there for a week, but we've actually just doubled back in to go and see Oban. I didn't really want to miss it. It's one of the larger towns. We needed a few supplies, needed to buy lunch, so it's worth the visit. We're about to go over the Conan Bridge. Amanda had booked in ahead for our next stop at the Creagan Station camping ground. Just seemed to be a good appropriate distance to do for the day before we stopped on our way up to the Isle of Skye.
After 300 yards, turn left, then, warning,
Upper
you
level
will enter a
pitch is
restricted area.
8, 16, so we're 13.
Get a good view from up here.
There's the old train line there.
So there.
13, you said you have my name on it. There it is, 13. Yep,
Right,
this is Phillips.
Very you can go and take the thingy off. Not back in.
There's a pot thing down there, have you seen that? Wee fire pit thing. Look at the old.
The train stuff.
Quite cool. You get a view out too.
This worked out quite a good place to stay for the night by Oban, but unfortunately the next day the weather had closed in. Oh, just dumping our waste. It's turned into a rather grey, horrible day. There was a lovely view of a lake over there last night, but Russell didn't get his camera out in time for a tour. But anyway, they've got basic facilities here, but it's also a basic price. So £30 a night, the shower's unlimited, no coins, and bathroom and toilet, so there's 2 or 3 of these. It's made it an old station house. And the old train is done up as a bed and breakfast type luxury cabin, which is pretty cool. And this is the old station and platform. Obviously no train that runs through here now. But we're on the road again, rain or shine. Anyway, these days sometimes work out quite good, just enjoying the journey, going up the road, even when it's a wet day. We're on our way to Port William, making our way slowly up the west coast to the Isle of Skye. We had a good night in the camping ground last night, overlooking the loch.
No, we're just cruising along. It's a bit wild, wet and windy. It's not cold, but yeah, we're enjoying looking out at the lochs, and it looks like wild azaleas, but we're not sure. But like our gorse, they've got azaleas everywhere, which makes it quite beautiful. Pretty cool.
When we got to Fort William, there was no parking really, nothing close to town anyway, so we kept on going and decided to see if we could find a place closer to where the ferry was leaving. The good news was the weather was clearing up, so that's good.
Well, there we are. We just stopped for some lunch at a nice wee pub along the road on the way to the Isle of Skye. There's going onto the Isle of Skye across on the ferry first and then back over the bridge at the top. And they advised us to book the ferry, which was very good advice because we found that there was no ferries for today or tomorrow. So Saturday 8 o'clock is our crossing time. The next job is to find somewhere to stay for a couple of nights down this end so we're close.
We're hoping that if we had a meal at the pub, they would have let us stay over in the car park for the night, but that wasn't going to happen. And at this stage, the idea of backtracking all the way 159k to the bridge is not an option, so we need to really find somewhere we can stay. All the other ferries we just rocked up to, we didn't have to book at all, so we got caught with this one. We were fortunate in the end to find this car park, which allowed 24-hour parking with a meter, and it was right beside the beach on the other side of the bush here, so ideal to stay. A few other camper vans there, but wasn't full, luckily for us, so this would be an ideal place to stay until our ferry departs. There's the wee gate down through here off the car park, so we're just going to take a wander down to the beach and see what it's like. The next day the tide had come in. I decided to get the drone up and have a look around and have a bit of a wander around myself. So enjoy the viewing. Beautiful place, Silver Sands, and definitely worth a call in just to come down this way to see this. It was one of the best spots we've stayed at on the trip through Scotland so far, I feel. It was only 6 kilometres from where we were staying down to the ferry terminal the next day.
There's no boat there yet, so
Oh, there's no boat.
hit the slipway, no.
We had to get up early this morning and left Silver Sands where we'd stayed for 2 nights. It was great there. Thank you to the council for letting us stay there for £10 a night. With 2 passengers and the van to go over one way, £20, which I think is a bargain. There's a whole lot of watersiders filling up a barge with gravel here, which is amusing me.
So I've made my coffee and my toast while I've been sitting in the queue. One of the advantages of waiting for a ferry as a camper.
There you go, we're away. That's the ramp closing where we drove on, and there's a ramp on the other end to drive off. And over there is the Isle of Skye. It's always like another new adventure when you hop on these ferries. Everybody with their movement alarms going off. They're learning. Here's the wee lounge area down the back of the ship. I guess there's a couple of toilets in there as well if you need them. I'm going to go up the stairs.
Tell me secrets, power of words. Tell me stories, legends before. 1, 2, ran with the wolves.
seal thing. Enough showing us how to get out.
There we are, welcome to South Skye. Can't read the Scottish underneath it.
Shop and fuel, 200 metres.
This time we have a plan. We're on the Isle of Skye. We're heading up to the top of the island to stay at the Kilchurn camping ground, and we'll visit a few places along the way. Our first stop is the small town of Broadford. Stopped at a wee town here with a few craft shops and food shopping and possibly coffee shop. First time really to have a good wee look around where we've got a car park. There's quite a lot of these bed and breakfast and hotels and fancy places to stay as you drive along the road. We'll go and see what's in the wee village before we carry on down the road. The takeaways there doing quite a good wee trade.
Cake.
What's that? Is that carrot cake? No.
Apple cake.
Apple cake, alright.
Well, that was worth a stop and a bit of a poke around. Also a good chance to stretch the legs before we continue our journey.
It's going out. Isle of Ransby Distillery. So we've stopped to look at this waterfall. It's a bit on the windy side today, so hopefully my mic is picking this up. I don't think I'll be walking up this side to see the waterfall because she is very boggy down there.
Amanda's actually back in the camper. We're not really waterfall folks. We don't want to be walking for miles just to see the water spouting over the edge of a hill. But this one's right beside the road, so I thought I'd take a quick look anyway and show you. We won't be stopping this time at Glen's Logo Chan. I think that's how it's pronounced. It's my best effort. But we will be back.
We're just driving over and we've come to our first little part of the west coast. The weather's not very delightful. There's a wee parking area here, I'll pull up.
We just stop at the viewpoint to get a photo, and Russell opened the door and it's almost like hail coming in and wind. So
I'll just take you out of the holder and you can see the steering wheel right over to my door has had rain on it. So it's come all the way across there from behind Amanda. So that was what's called horizontal rain.
After that experience, you'll have to just enjoy the view out the front window with us as we make our way out through the Isle of Skye, through the rugged mountains here. That is absolutely beautiful, these houses nestled in amongst them. The good news, we did find somewhere nice and warm and dry as we carried on up the coast, so we took our opportunity to visit one of the old schoolhouses, being converted into a cafe.
Time for a cafe stop in the rain.
Ooh.
There we go. Nice big cafe when you get inside.
Our travels for today are over. We've got to as high as we're going in Skye.
Nice big stream. Well, here's our park up. Brilliant, looking out over the water.
Here we are after having a night on the Isle of Skye. It was extremely windy, very driving rain and wet, but we hunkered down in our camper van and it seemed to settle down as the night went on. We didn't sleep too bad. We are having one night in our campground, which has got a beautiful view, before we're heading on to Dunvegan, which is just around the corner, and we may be checking out the castle.
And we have to leave this episode at this point, but we'll be back again in a fortnight's time with more adventures on the Isle of Skye. And what was good was the weather cleared up a bit, so we could adventure further to small villages and some of those things we missed when it was raining. And then we head off over the bridge to continue our adventure up through Scotland. I hope you've enjoyed cruising along with us on our bucket list adventure. Be sure to click that like button, it helps us a lot. If you can subscribe, do. If you want to watch some more of us, click on our playlist and you can see all our adventures from the time we left New Zealand, went through New York, onto England, Wales and Ireland. We'll catch you later. Great having you with us.